Okay. This is a late night video. Earlier on today, I tried something. Something that I've been trying. Well, I can't really say that. Honestly, I tried it once. If you know my story, you know that I drowned, right? And I'm speaking quietly because, honestly, at this point, I'm not too sure if my neighbors can hear me. If I can hear them, then surely they should be able to hear me, right? Jeez. Alright, so basically, a long time ago, when I drowned, about 2 weeks after that point, my death, human death, and I literally drowned. I don't mean just flailing your hands around and screaming for help. No, I became unconscious, spasmed, had all the pains, internal pains, and I blacked out at the bottom of that quarry. We shouldn't have been swimming there, but kids do what kids do, right? Kids are gonna do what they want. About 2 weeks after, I get a string of strange memories showing up, and at that time I didn't know that those memories were astral projection. I just thought that they were weird memories of moments within my childhood where I experienced living nightmares, things showing up which the TV told me were bad. And during those 2 weeks, I became inspired to attain superpowers, like real life superpowers. If you know the story so far, I looked into the simple ones that everyone else already has, monks and so forth, things such as super strength. I already had that down, not to the degree they did, but pretty much to the point where people were calling me Clark Kent and Superman for a large variety of my life. You know, always something different. And then I looked at electrokinesis, burning things with my hands. I got to a certain point in that development. I could heat my hands in certain parts of my body. It helped if I wanted cold showers. I pretty much taught myself tumo, which is when you increase your body temperature and you slow it down with your breath. But I wanted something a bit more. I wanted to know how to teleport. After seeing Kurt out of the X-Men, where he just goes and shows up again, I particularly became very inspired after watching the film Jumper, and the fact that he didn't need a passport to get into other countries, right? I thought, wow, that would just be so much, like, that'd just be so easy. Why would you need to get onto a plane or drive, or get a taxi or a ferry or a cab or a coach? Why not just think and you're there? So during that time, I started to search into the Malteser decks and other kind of siddhas, and these siddhas learned how to astral project, and they were saying that astral projection was the key behind teleportation. Okay, now at that time, again, I said I didn't really know what astral projection was. I was just focusing on the teleportation side of things, the visualization and so forth. I tried it once, then I dropped it, and then I spent years being bombarded with literature and other people's experiences and really decoding my own experiences. And you'll know so far it's what brought me here on YouTube. Most of my channel was built on astral projection. I ended up developing the skill of leaving my body to a mastery to some degree. I'd say, yeah, to quite a considerable degree. Some people have likened my skill to the skill set of Robert Monroe and others. Some even say that I'm better than them. Their words, not mine. Okay, not being big-headed or anything. I've never met them. I'd like to. That'd be cool. In the astrals, we can chill out in space. But in all honesty, the only people I've actually met, and someone's actually asked me this before on Facebook, who are on my level of expertise, or at least who have the same amount of experience, and if not more, are beings that aren't even in this world. So throughout those 2 weeks when I was getting flashbacks, I started to realize what those flashbacks were. And then after I dropped teleportation that first try, I decided to delve into and discover really, what was going on with my mind at the time, and my psychology and my physiology. I started having these vibrations, sleep paralysis symptoms, and I started to recall moments within my life where I had sleep paralysis symptoms before. And every time I had those symptoms, it led up to an experience, the same experience, or experiences that were suppressed, and that my drowning, my unforeseen circumstance triggered, and brought those memories to the forefront. So yeah, that was my little brief. If you've just come across my channel for the first time, it's what I do. I astral project. I've always been able to do that as a kid. I suppressed them at the age of 13, those abilities, such as my empathic ability. It was suppressed, but it didn't turn off. My astral projection, though, was turned off, and I could sense things, see things every now and then, but not to the degree that I could do after I developed this skill of astral projection. So, where am I going with this? Teleportation, right? Well, after doing further research on the Siddhas and really delving in deep in that area, somebody else calls my attention, forth towards teleportation once more in my adult years. And I remember the fact that people who master the skill of physical teleportation are Siddhas, and Siddhas are, or the Melchizedeks also, they're people on Earth that are basically considered as ascended masters in a way. They know how to control their energy, they understand the real chakra system and not the thought form chakra systems that have been placed into people. And they also understand the relationship between the real chakra systems and those hidden, unseen energies that actually trigger certain glands within the body. Now, I know of the pure, real chakra system. I discovered it within myself. The first thing I did was I focused on my glands. Then, due to my abilities to astral project, I started seeing certain things and feeling certain things, okay? I've mentioned on my YouTube channel the fact that the chakra system was fake. And I said, specifically, that I didn't know if chakras were real because I've never actually seen them. I've only seen the meridians, right? Well, as of late, I've started having more experiences where I've not only discovered where the vortexes are in my body, but I am starting to see certain things within the astral realm, okay? So there is hope yet. A lot of people saw that video and they freaked out. They thought, what can I do? What should I do? I do yoga and I incorporate the chakra system. I do breath work and visualizations and so forth. You gotta discover these things, guys. That's what spirituality is. It's discovery, the discovery of certain aspects of your soul, of your energy bodies. It doesn't deal with the imagination, in the sense that it doesn't deal with you creating things most of the time when it comes to activating certain bodies. Yeah, the imagination is important for certain aspects of meditation, but when you're trying to see things, such as being clairvoyant, seeing the future and chakras and so forth, you don't use your imagination in the same way that you would create something before you go to sleep, or when you're doing a specific meditation to fix a psychological issue, okay? There are certain reasons for that, but I'm not going to go into that in this video because I don't want to waste your time. And this video is just teleportation. I have a habit of veering off into other modalities of thought, so perhaps I'll touch upon that later on. Okay, let me just make that mental note. Mental note. Okay, sure, it'll come up again. So basically, right, I pick it up again, right? Teleportation. And today was the first time I decided to teleport. Okay. Let me tell you something. Some strange things happened. And some even stranger things happened. I have the ability, if you saw on my YouTube channel again, I moved something with my mind, right? And I haven't further developed that ability, which is strange because I always thought that if I did touch upon any kind of success with moving things with my mind, that I'd actually go into it even deeper, to the point where I can move cars. But it's funny, once I get something out of my system, once I do it, it's like, cool, I've done it. Meh. Just meh. But the teleportation technique and the telekinesis technique that I discovered, everything's discovery, it has a kind of relation to it. It has similar aspects to the technique. You see, when I moved things with my mind, I could feel the vibrational signature around it. And the vibrational signature is something that gives that object a reference in time and space. So this right now, I can't keep it completely still because that's humanly impossible. It's constantly moving a little bit. It's vibrating because I'm moving my elbow. And the molecules are even vibrating, okay? But there are moments within time and space where everything is completely motionless. Anyway, as I do this, it moves the vibrational frequency that keeps it in the space, longitude and latitude, okay? As my hand moves, it changes, and I can feel it, because I've really surpassed my old empath abilities. I can feel everything now. I don't just mean emotions, I mean subatomic particles, the structure and the nature of the universe and matter and life itself. I can feel all of it on the quantum molecular level and beyond. Okay? So when I move things, I can feel the signature around it. So, knowing that right now, I've just recorded it because I can feel it and I can stick it in my head. Now I know that this is over here, right, on my bed. But if I'm able to recreate the vibrational signature here, what happens is this object has to disappear and show up here. So, when it comes to teleportation, apparently the only way to do it, this is why everyone who teleports has to know astral projection first, is you have to astral project and be connected to your body still so that you can feel the vibrational signature, the longitude and latitude, that vibrational frequency that is keeping your physical atoms in one location, which would be your bed. Okay, so while you're in your bed physically, you're someone else, astrally, mentally. And the key is to try and get that signature from your bed to your astral body. It sounds pretty simple, right? That's what I tried earlier on today. This is what happened. Distilled water. Pure water of life. I'm gonna be quick. First off, I set the intention to teleport, okay? Before I astral projected. Stupid move on my part. I always teach people in my sessions, and I've probably even said it on YouTube before, not to make the intention to go somewhere to see someone or to do something like flying or walking through walls or meeting with spirit guides, etc, 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 before you astral project. And it's because you don't want to split up your focus and your attention. If you're holding that intention to do one thing once you get there, how are you going to hold the intention to actually leave the body? You're splitting your focus. It's a problem. So always astral project first, before you set the intention to do anything else, or before you actually go to do anything else. So because I set the intention to astral project and teleport, it took me longer to astral project. It was ridiculous. I knew what was going on. I knew it was because I was holding the intention to do something else. And it took me like an hour to leave the body, which in my case, for me, it's way too long. But I did come out. And because I had split my focus apart, I was kind of blind for a while. From this location to my door, I couldn't see anything. But I knew I was in the room, I knew I was in my astral body, so I just got up and started walking. And I advise any of you guys to do that too. If you know you're in another location, if you can hear something, if there's any kind of inclination that you're somewhere else, maybe it's daylight in here and you're seeing glimpses of light, and you tried at night, then get up and walk around, right? And just keep walking until you see something, which is what I did. I walked into my hallway, went downstairs, okay? And I noticed that, wait a minute. What am I doing here? Like, what's the purpose? What's the point? It was like my intention got erased after I astral projected. And I'm thinking, okay, well, normally I would go through mirrors, mirror dimensions, and I would travel to other places of the world through the mirror. So I looked for my mirror. My mirror wasn't there, partly. Half of it was. I was like, what the hell's going on? It's like it's been cut in half. And the wallpaper isn't blue anymore. It's just bricks. Not only that, but I could also see another mirror. And this other mirror was thinner and it had a stain on it, like somebody had thrown in coffee or more accurately milk, because the stain was white. I'm thinking, okay, that's not my mirror. This room, every square foot of it is larger. So clearly this should be my house, but it's not. And that's what happens in the astral. Sometimes you get alterations of your whereabouts. I'm looking at this thing and I'm thinking to myself, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm freezing, I'm stuttering, getting fog-headed. I'm looking at this wall. And then I think to myself, oh, I was supposed to... Wait, no, I wasn't. I remembered astral projecting the week before for the purpose of meeting someone in the astral realm. But that can't be why I'm here now, because I feel as if I was supposed to do that last week. And then gradually, as I started to remember the other astral projection experiences, whilst I was out in this one, I started to remember my main purpose, my main objective there. Then, like that, like I was slapped in the face with a lightning bolt, I remembered I was supposed to teleport, right? So I sit there and I think, okay, teleportation, let's do this. And I look at my hands and I feel my physical body in my bed. And I'm instantly thrown back into my physical body. An issue I used to have when I was first starting off. Whenever you think about your physical body, you get thrown back there. And then I'm in the astrals once more, and I hear a kid run up my stairs. And he's yelling, "Daddy, Daddy, come downstairs, Daddy, Daddy." I'm like, well, Daddy, Daddy, what's he talking about? The door opens up. A kid about this big, baby, surprised he was walking and speaking, was saying to me, "Daddy, are you coming downstairs? Are you coming to see me and Mommy?" Right? And he jumps up on my bed, and I pick him up and I go along with it, right? I was like, yeah, I'm coming along to see you and your mother. And, because I've learned to go along with these things, because sometimes you enter into parallel realities where you kind of just have to fit in that role and just play the part so that you don't cause any panic. So as I moved the baby down, I heard him say, "You better." And his whole vibe changed. His frequency changed. It was like he was someone else, something else. And then he slowly walked out my door. Then I chased on behind him and I closed the door so that he wouldn't come back in. And I think, okay, right, teleportation again. And I feel my physical body. I'm like being jolted back and forth. But I also feel the location of my physical body. But still I'm being jolted back and forth. So I think, okay, let's hone in on the vibrational frequency, which is giving my physical body its longitude and latitude, its locational positioning within the third dimension. Let's focus on that frequency and that frequency alone and will it to come here. Here's the weird thing, okay? The weird thing. At that time, I'm getting really disorientated because my awareness is bouncing back and forth between two different dimensions. It gets to the point where it feels like I'm being stretched out between the two. It's like really rapid and light moves really fast. That's what we are, we're lightweight consciousness, and that's why we can move throughout these dimensions. We vibrate onto certain frequencies, and that's what allows us to exist in certain planes of existences. So I'm caught up in feeling the vibrations within my stomach, preferably just under the sternum. And it's going really fast. It's like this tornado-ish watery flow within my body, but it's vibrations. I haven't experienced vibrations in years. Mainly I was experiencing vibrations when I was firstly beginning because my body was getting adjusted to the astral energy. So now I'm kind of taken back, like what's going on? Why is my body vibrating? The torso bit, it was moving around like this, right? It's pretty large. Like this and up. And as it would come like this and up, it would come like that and up into my head and spin around a small circle. Whilst that was happening, I was intrigued. Not only was I intrigued, but I was too distracted. I was focusing too much on my physical body, and even though it felt like I was trying to partially go where my astral body was, I lost focus, and I ended up back in my body and in another dimension. Now, it didn't stop there. I'm no quitter. I've learned the art of bouncing back and forth and not completely returning back to your body. Okay, because you don't have to completely return. Most people, they end it. They get thrown back into their physical body and think that's it, and then they just wait to get up in 3D. It's not. Once you get thrown back in your body, you get back up, you can go somewhere else. Okay, so I got back up and I stood there this time, about 2 to 3 feet away from my bed. And I thought if I was closer to my physical body, then maybe, even though we're separated between two dimensions, I'll be able to materialize here better, easier, faster. Put my hands up, tried it again. Not as much success as the first time. Mainly because now I'm focusing too much on my astral body. So I think to myself, okay, well, I'm just going to lay down on my bed. Because perhaps if I'm really close to the same positioning as my physical body, then I won't have to teleport that much, right? But you probably guess it. Now I'm completely laying in the same place that my body is laying, just separated by dimensions, and it feels too familiar. It completely ruins the experience, and I get thrown back into my physical body. So, that was today's attempt. Just today. I'm going to keep going, obviously, because same with the telekinesis, I get obsess with these things until I can do it. Now, what time is it and what day is it? Oh, look, 000, all those zeros. And that was when I announced my teleportation habit, should I say? And the day is... This is not showing it. Alright, I'm just going to read it. It's the 1st of February. Wow. Wednesday. On the 1st of this month, I literally spoke to you within that minute. A manifestation. What I'm going to do. That's intriguing because I always tell people never to tell others what they're going to be doing because then it will hinder the results. But for some reason, I feel like that's not the case this time. Maybe there's a loophole. Maybe I'm co-creating this because I've told you at this specific time at the beginning of a month. Jeez, is it a full moon? No full moon, it's just raining and wet outside, which I actually like. So, I'm Ryan James Cropper. This has been your potential. Subscribe to see more videos like this, especially like this, because I'm going to be, well, expressing more of the things I'm getting into behind closed doors. As you can see, I'm not dressed any particular fancy way and I haven't got any fancy lighting up, but this is just me. It's just organically me. Organically Ryan. I'm going to end it now. I'm Ryan James Cropper, and I'll speak to you all pretty soon. Peace.